welcome in, Huntsville. Another wonderful good morning to you. Thanks for waking up with us. What do you love about Huntsville? What makes this a great place to be?
Everyone here is very genuine and very kind and friendly. You never hesitate to speak up and say hello or good morning or just acknowledge the person walking by.
The thing that I love most about Huntsville, I love the peace that Huntsville brings. I love the peace that it gives me.
I feel accepted and part of the town and like I belong here.
Huntsville is where my lovely wife lived when I met her, so I moved here. So I'm pretty thankful for her.
All right.
We're bucking for you in Huntsville, Texas.
Hello, I'm Billy Cobbin, with Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home.
Hey, it's Kaye Boehning with Tomorrow's Pros Montessori Schools.
Good morning, Huntsville.
Good morning.
Hey, I'm Karen.
I'm Toy. And I'm Denise.
And from all of us at Walker County Federal Credit Union, good morning, Huntsville.
All right, here we are. Here we go. You know what today is, Kay? It's one of those cool number days. Billy got really upset the other day. Did you hear him getting upset on the show?
I missed that one.
He said that he never gets any cool numbered episodes. Today is episode 555. 500. You always get the cool ones. You and Rick, y'all get the cool episode numbers. So
That's because we're the cool kids.
yeah, y'all are the cool ones. Episode 55. I decided to relax
As in
today.
kids, baby goats, you know.
Yeah. There's nothing wrong
Always
with
hopping around.
all AHA, always hopping around. AHA. If you ever hear AHA, that's what we're talking about. Hey, today's a very relaxing day. I came in Reebok gym shorts. Man, I'm feeling great this morning. It's probably the first time I've wore gym shorts here to church or on this show, but there's a reason for it. And you know, I've strategically positioned the camera up a little bit so you don't see that, but there's a reason for it. We have been having upwards camps this week here at FBC, and a lot of children have been here. It's been exciting, and we're wrapping that up today. So we had basketball, 2 sessions of basketball camps, and then 2 sessions of volleyball camps. So yesterday was kind of more of a relaxing day. I still had to do some things, but the first day was really busy. But we have leaders in place, and they've got it really flowing. Monday was awesome, Kay. I was talking to you. I know you were going over some ideas with me about Lasso, and I was telling you that the Sam Houston volleyball team was here. Mm-hmm. So it's really cool. Coach Cash, he's the assistant coach. He's been with the program now for over 5 years. He was here, brought all the girls. He said I can't just bring one, I got to bring them all. It's part of what they do, and also Conference USA is, you know, we're in this new conference. We've been in it now for a couple of years, and I'm still learning new things about it. And it's really neat because Conference USA puts a heavy emphasis on student athletes being involved in the community and community service, which may play into Lasso. We'll try to get some.
Hope so.
Get some young ones involved, and but they did such an awesome job. Those girls were amazing, by the way, and so. My dream and my goal and my desire now is to promote more of the sports that you don't see a lot with the university. They got beach volleyball, hopping now over there. So that's pretty cool. And I think they're running 13 or 14 sports at Sam Houston now. So it's really exciting. We'll have to have Bobby Williams come back on and give us some updates on all the great things that they're doing. We are here on the do you remember back in the day, the Domino's Pizza 555 deal? So we are here. I hope they should have a deal for us today. It's episode 555 as we get rolling on another morning of Good Morning Huntsville. We want to welcome all of you in and thank you for being a part of our family, as Billy's always called it. And many of you are with us. Autumn Wheaton, I know, always joins us. Jennifer Gustanetti. I'm already saying hello to y'all because I know y'all are probably already there. Jamie Saucier was the first to comment. We just love Jamie and his wife. They're just wonderful folks, and continue to keep their family in your prayers. I know they're going through a lot right now, but just wonderful, wonderful folks. And I want to say something real quick, Kay, and you'll agree with this. Tracy Stout's with us here. She's the executive director of SAAFE House. We'll have Tracy in just a few moments. But I'm going to tell you, it's not easy when we go through loss and when we see somebody suffering and going through pain. It's not easy. But there's hope when we have a relationship with Jesus Christ. And I just wanted to say that this morning, that maybe somebody out there today is struggling, you're suffering, you're going through something. Maybe you've got somebody by your side that's not doing well. We had a family here on Sunday, Kay, that she was here at they're new to our church. They've been here for several months now, came from the hill country in Burnett. And she was in one of the Sunday school classes and said she had a headache and didn't feel good. 2 days later, she was having brain surgery, and the cancer unfortunately has spread throughout her entire body. And the doctor had said, you've got 18 months. And it was but she is so full of faith in the Lord, Kay. And she's obviously praying for healing. We all believe in healing, but I always say that if the Lord chooses not for the healing to come here on earth, guess what? It's coming in heaven for those that believe.
I just read about a new immunotherapy that they did on one person, and it cured their brain
Yeah, he had
cancer.
The worst form of it,
yes, right? And they're opening it up for a new study.
Yeah, I saw that too, and I was thinking of this specific lady when I saw that. That's funny. You and I have the same algorithm. We're on the same. As the young people say, we're vibing. We're vibing together, Kay. But
you might want to watch that. Yeah. It might affect you.
Getting the vibe level. But I say this because I brought up this story because hearing her testimony, here's somebody who's facing the doctor telling them you've got 18 months to live, and she shared her testimony. She said, I want to share my testimony because she goes, I believe that my testimony was going to be a testimony that the Lord has completely healed me. And she said, he could still do that, but it hasn't happened yet. My testimony is going to be that I'm going to remain in faith no matter what. And she spoke in front of her and her husband spoke in front of our whole congregation on Sunday, Kay. And this was such a servant heart when she said this part. The doctor had told her, and this is going to stick with me the rest of my life. The doctor had told her, hey, well, I've got some bad news for you, ma'am. You've only got 18 months to live. And, she described it, her husband described it as, she put her hands on that doctor and said, I'm so sorry that you have to tell people this. So in that moment, here's somebody who's been given this expiration date, right? I mean, that's what it is when the doctor tells you that. But in that moment, she wasn't even thinking about herself. Here was someone with a servant's heart, Kay, thinking of the doctor, thinking, I'm sorry that you have to tell people this all the time. And that was when it hit me when she said that. And I kind of teared up in the service, and I started thinking, man, I need to do a better job of being a servant. Because how many times do things come our way? And we're all guilty. I'm probably the guiltiest one of all about this. When things come our way, I'm thinking about me first. How's this going to affect me? Mm-hmm. When I need to be thinking about how's this going to affect other people? When adversity comes our way and we may think, man, well, what's this going to do? Jack me up in my life. Instead, we need to be thinking about, well, what can I do for my family in this moment? What can I do for my neighbor? What can I do for my friend? And, a lot of times through adversity, we find that prosperity.
That's related to my Wednesday wisdom today.
I knew it. See, here we go. Kay's Wednesday wisdom firing up. So, but I just wanted to start with that, a little inspiration this morning, and maybe just a a way of changing our mindset as we wake up here on this wonderful Wednesday. Big thank you to Elliot Herzlich from Elliot's Jewelers. He's online at elliotsjewelers.com for all of your jewelry needs. Go see my great friend Elliot Herzlich. Elliot called me yesterday. I was in the middle of bathing the babies at the neighbor down the road, and I did one of those Facebook posts where I went back and hit the delete button. Have you ever did that? I don't know if we're all guilty of that, but I posted one, and I wasn't calling out anybody, but I started thinking, why am I airing out my complaints and getting upset about stuff? And what had happened, and it was my own fault. I didn't get upset at anybody, Kay, but my brain decided it was just going to forget to pay the water bill. And so when you got two little babies that are in diapers still, basically, I mean, Braylon's, wearing underwear now, but she still has to have a pull-up at night. But you got a little boy who every once in a while decides that he's eating too much, and we all know what happens with that in diapers. It wasn't a fun evening. I got home, finally got all them home we got home probably close to 6 o'clock, and, I went to the restroom and hit the flush, and I was like, that's kind of weird. And my first thought was, they tore up the water line. And, there's been a lot of water lines getting tore up out of Elkins because all the internet services coming in and out. And I've heard that there's 3 internet services coming in out there now. So they lay one, and then someone else trenches, and then someone else. They're not using the same conduit. So there's going to be all sorts of problems out there. Well, then I started thinking, I feel like I've had an extra $150 or so in my bank account. I didn't know why. I thought, man, somebody just dumped something in there for me, and it was a blessing. Well, it wasn't, Kay. It was the fact that I didn't pay the water bill. I totally forgot about it. And
they have this little thing called automatic transactions.
So I know.
Take it out of your account, and you don't have to remember to do it.
Yeah, but then for me, that's when the overdraft starts. I'm not very organized with all that, so I've got to be careful with it. But long story short is I made a post and said, I can't believe this, and boy, I wish we'd get with the times here. I know it's my fault, but when I lived in Georgetown, we'd get text messages that we were about to get disconnected, and I didn't get any notice, and blah. Anyways, long story short, I deleted it because I was like, I'm friends with folks in the city. It's not their fault. It's my fault. I didn't pay the bill. So I say all this tying into Elliot's Jewelers because I called the neighbor. The neighbor didn't answer her phone, and I had to give the kids a bath. I mean, there ain't no doubt about it. You got to give the children a bath. Caden, he's out running around playing, and so his little feet are dirty, and Braylon was dirty and smelly. And so I got a hold of our friend Ashley, who lives across the street from y'all's house over there. And Ashley said, come on over. And so I bathed the children, got them back home, went to the neighbors, filled up a 5-gallon cooler full of water. And that's been our water overnight because the city said we can't come out until tomorrow to reset it. That's what I was frustrated about. I said, man, in Georgetown, this happened to me once in Georgetown, they had an emergency department that would come turn it back on. You had to pay $40, but, man, it's worth it. So I deleted my post, Kay, because I just didn't want to I felt bad. I was like, it sounds like I'm getting mad at people that I shouldn't be getting mad at. So thank you, Elliot, for calling me. He was probably calling to say if I needed to come bathe the kids or do something, he was going to help us out. But big thank you to Elliot Herzlich, and also, of course, here on this wonderful Wednesday, Kaye Boehning, Tomorrow's Promise, Montessori Schools. Real quick, Kay, how have you been? What have you been up to? I know Rick's out today, but how have you been? Before we take a break, we'll have Tracy in a moment.
Just since I'm feeling better, I've been trying to get caught up. So
I know
lots of things to do.
I know that it was you had mentioned this, and I know there for a while you weren't feeling very well, and you went and saw as a chiropractor, right? Mm-hmm. And it's worked wonders for you.
I had a severe pinched nerve in my back that was causing me excruciating pain.
I mean, you were down to you were a workaholic, but you even had to stop the workaholic for a while because you weren't feeling so well.
About 10 hours a week is all I could do.
Yeah, man. Well, I'll tell you, not that there was a bad light, but there's a new light about you, Kay. I noticed it. I do, because I noticed for that month or month and a half, you just weren't feeling well.
No, I was in constant pain.
And that's a scary part to be because you didn't know what was going on at first, right?
Well, I had pleurisy at first, which every time you take a breath is like somebody's stabbing you with an ice pick. Mm. And then after 2 months, the doctor's like, you shouldn't have that anymore. So then I had my heart tested. I had, of course, my lungs and everything. They looked for an ulcer. They looked for a hernia, gallbladder. I've been x-rayed and scanned from head to toe, and they found nothing. It was funny because every time the test would come back, it's like, "Well, you're normal." And I'd look at Rick and go, "See, there's something about me that's normal." And he would just laugh and go, "No."
How did you, if you don't mind me asking, because maybe somebody else out there is going through something, you never know, but how did you finally connect to a chiropractor and then find out that was what was causing the root of a lot of it?
I actually talked to Murray McFarland before the chamber breakfast one day, and he was asking me how I felt because he had seen that I wasn't feeling well. And he's like, "I don't think I can help you." And so then he did the presentation for the breakfast and stuff, and then we talked after the breakfast and said, "Well, you know what, I'm going to come make an appointment." And he said, "Well, maybe there's something." And so he did x-rays and stuff and said, "Well, we can do some treatments." And after the first treatment, my pain level went from 8 to 4.
Wow.
So.
And that's, and I'm so glad you shared this, because there was a time in my life to where I didn't think chiropractic stuff really worked, honestly. I mean, I was kind of skeptical of it. And my friend Brooksy Ash, Dr. Ash, is a chiropractor. And I was having a similar type deal, just and they couldn't figure out what was going on. And I went over there for one session, and that dude popped and cracked and did something, rolled, popped and cracked. I mean, that should be a new rap song, roll, pop, and crack for these chiropractors, because it worked. And I felt amazing after that. And then I went just with a few follow-ups, and I became a believer. And here's a testimonial from you. You're going through all this, didn't know what was going on, and then here you go. You find somebody, they took care of it, and now you're night and day different. So it's always good to kind of be cautious about some things, always do your homework. But I'll tell you what, chiropractic works.
Well, and my brother just had double bypass surgery. So, I thought could be the heart because, genetics
Yeah.
and stuff like that. And, so I've got a baseline now for a stress test and a echocardiogram, and I've got baselines for everything now.
It's always good if you go to do those tests to just go pig out, eat a bunch of McDonald's, get everything kind of in the middle. So that way that it's not like you don't look super healthy, right? So when you go back, you're like, "Oh man, you're doing great," right, Kay?
Well, they did find that I had irritation in my esophagus. And, if that continues, it can cause cancer. And so they've discovered I have a silent heartburn.
Yeah.
And so now I'm on heartburn medication to make that esophagus heal.
Yeah, well, that's good. It's definitely nothing to play around with that. I've had all these GERD issues. I have a bracelet in my esophagus from years ago that for that stuff. So I'm glad. See, everything works out. There's always a reason for something. So, well, hey, let's take a brief break. Our good friend Tracy Stout's here from SAAFE House today. She's the executive director. We're going to take a brief break, and we'll come back in a moment and have Tracy on, give us some updates on some great things happening and some events right around the corner at SAAFE House, ways that you can get involved and help out. And if you've never heard about SAAFE House before, well, today's the day. We're going to share some information. We really want you to get plugged in and connected and learn more about a great organization that's serving a need here in our community, not just here, but in multiple counties as well. We'll take that brief break. Stay with us. Do us a favor. Share the broadcast. Let us know you're out there and what you're thankful for this morning as we continue on. It's your show. This is Good Morning Huntsville. Stay with us.
At Tomorrow's Promise Montessori Schools, we're not just a place where children pass the time. We're not a daycare. We're a child care center focused on growth, learning, and discovery. Every day, children engage in meaningful activities that build confidence, independence, and a love for learning. From reading and math to social and practical life skills, our students are active participants in their development. Ready to give your child something more? Visit tomorrowspromise.info and discover what makes our school different. Tomorrow's Promise Montessori Schools. Education you can trust.
Hey, I'm Denise Olivas, Business Account Specialist at Walker County Federal Credit Union, and our business is helping you take care of your business. In addition to personal accounts, Walker County Federal Credit Union also offers business accounts and business lending for commercial customers. We're devoted to taking care of the needs of our individual members and helping our business members with their financial success too. Call us today and find out how easy it is to work with Walker County Federal Credit Union. Member NCUA.
Since 2010, the Oak Ridge Disciple House has helped men break free from addiction, not with quick fixes, but lasting change through Jesus Christ. They've celebrated 167 graduates at Oak Ridge and 138 more at Interfaith with an 80% success rate. That's compared to just 5% in most secular programs. The fact is, Jesus works. And now, celebrating 15 years, they're building their third house in Tennessee and just launched a women's program, Restoration Ranch in Texas. It's all for God's glory. And here's the heart of it. They never turn anyone away for lack of money. In fact, 95% of families receive scholarships. As one person put it, don't talk about it, be about it. Every penny counts. Donate today at oakridgedisciplehouse.com and help change a life forever. The Oak Ridge Disciple House. Online at oakridgedisciplehouse.com. Real recovery, real hope.
Imagine a voice of hope reaching every corner of Huntsville, from homes and hospitals to prison walls. That's the heart of Spirit Radio. We're a truly local 501c3 nonprofit, and we're raising $25,000 to build our tower and get on the air. With your help, we'll broadcast encouragement, truth, and the love of Christ across our community and across the world through the Spirit Radio FM app. Visit spiritradio.fm and give today. Let's bring light to Huntsville and beyond together.
The church should be transformational. And maybe you've never been to church, or maybe life has left you feeling lost, but Jesus says, "Come to me, all you who labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest." At First Baptist Church Huntsville, a harbor of hope, we're not trying to fit in with the world. We're here to help you step into something greater, a fresh start, a new life in Christ. Join us this Sunday at 10:45 and see what God can do in your life. Visit fbchuntsville.org. Hope is here, and we're saving a seat just for you.
Loving Jesus, loving people side by side. In this harbor of hope, we are safe inside.
This is KHSP LP, Huntsville, Texas, the spirit of Huntsville.
This is Kaye Boehning with Tomorrow's Promise Montessori Schools, and you're listening to Spirit Radio.
Support for SpiritRadio.fm comes from loyal listeners just like you. Want to help spread the good news across Huntsville and beyond? Underwriting opportunities are available for loyal listeners, businesses, and nonprofits. Visit SpiritRadio.fm and tap Donate today.
The Spirit of Huntsville, SpiritRadio.fm.
All right, friends, welcome back as we continue on another chapter in our beautiful city's history this morning. Thanks for joining us on episode 555, brought to you by Tomorrow's Promise Montessori Schools. If you're looking for a place for your children to not only just be, but grow and excel and learn and tremendously learn, go visit our good friends online at Tomorrow's Promise. Their website, tomorrowspromise.info. 3 locations to serve you here in Huntsville. So you're waking up this morning, 75 degrees, 100%, beautiful humidity outside. It'll be 74 and clear tonight. More of the same tomorrow. Rain returns to the forecast this weekend. Well, she's been patiently waiting. We have to pay her by the second, and I've taken out a 4th mortgage on the house to have our good friend here this morning, Miss Tracy Stoudt. Tracy, welcome back. You've been on the show a few times, and checks in the mail, by the way.
Good.
Yeah, well, good to see you. Hold that microphone up a little bit there.
Sorry about that.
According to the water bill, it will bounce.
It will bounce.
Yeah.
I did that many years ago accidentally in Houston, and it is kind of strange to go home and not have lights. And your husband goes, "Why don't we have lights?" I don't know, but you get busy every now and then.
I was talking
that was
earlier.
back before automatic payments too.
Oh yeah. Well, I was talking earlier about putting thinking of others first, and I did when I didn't pay the water. I thought of my wife, and I said, "Boy, she's going to kill me when she gets home." But she had grace. She was very
grace is good.
No, you were thinking of yourself because you were thinking of the consequences.
Oh yeah. Well, Tracy's here, executive director. So good to see you, Tracy. Thank you for hanging out with us again. Always a joy and a blessing to have you. I know you've been with us a few times in the past, but before we dig in and talk SAAFE House, just let us know how you've been, what you've been up to, and how things are going.
Things are good. My baby, he's a week old today.
Congratulations.
And so I've been having a lot of snuggles. So, life is good. And when you focus on the important things, it makes a big difference. You keep God first, and then your family second, and then it all just falls into place.
Well, amen. Well, I can say this now, since you got that grandbaby. Happy, gorgeous Grandmama Day today.
Thank you.
And this is a gorgeous You don't look like a grandmama. You know, you don't look like a grandmama yet. You still got about 20 years till that grandma, but you are one.
I am one,
So-
and I rock that grandma
You
stuff.
do, and you rock the gorgeous part of it too.
Oh, thank you.
Well, you know, that's wonderful. Family is so important, but I like what you said. You know, keeping the Lord first, and I've always believed you do that, and everything else is going to fall into place.
Absolutely.
I know you've been extremely busy with SAAFE House, a lot going on. Just kind of let us know a little bit about the journey. I know you've been in this role now for a little bit of time.
A little bit of time.
Let us know how it's been going.
You know, it's good. There's always changes. Sometimes we have struggles because we hire kiddos straight out of college and they get just enough experience and then they go to places that can pay them more than we do. But it's okay because God brings the next one in every time. And we are growing and building and making sure that the needs of our clients are met. And so I've been there a little over 2 years. Lots of challenges along the way, but we just stay consistent and we put, again, God first. We're not a faith-based organization. We're not allowed to be, but God's first in my office every day.
Yeah, amen. Well, I'll tell you, I know that you said you're not allowed to be, but I'll tell you what, when you go over there and you see the love and compassion, that's what we're called to do is
Absolutely.
be compassionate, show love, and every time, and I know Kaye can vouch for this too because she's been over there before, you know, helping and doing things, but I'll tell you, when you walk into that place, you just feel love in the midst of so much heartache because these women are going through unimaginable things.
We meet so many people, their whole life has been devastated. I came upstairs the other day and there was a young lady sitting on our couch and, you know, I just got pulled that direction. And she's from out of state. Some awful stuff had happened to her. And I just sat down and said, come here, baby. And I just hug her, you know, and I'm like, we'll get somebody in here that can walk you through this. And it was a process. She was actually from here, from out of state, and she'd come home, but she still needed the legal assistance to make the difference to be able to keep her kids here. And we have people on staff that can walk them through those processes. You know, you don't know where to start. Some people don't know that somebody's going to abuse them. Sometimes it just happens. Sometimes it's a long time coming, you know, and we find our traffic picks up on Friday afternoon because they think to themselves, I can't go through a weekend with this person abusing me. And so we get 3 or 4 at 5 o'clock sometimes on Fridays, but we get them in the shelters, we get them situated. Here we go, getting ready to go back to school. So you got to get all those kiddos, you know, we've had a big push for kiddos that were 18, 19 years old. They didn't finish school. And so I'm working real close with Huntsville High School and the Hornet Success Academy, and we're getting those kids in so that they can get their diplomas and go on with life. We have to make them successes. And a lot of these people don't even know that that's an option. So we sit down and just kind of help them. Where do you want to go? What do you want to do? How can we help you get there? And so some people don't know that they can be a success because they've never known that, but that they can.
Yeah, well, that's, you know, I was sitting here thinking, Tracy, and the work that y'all do is just tremendous. I've said it numerous times, and it's an organization. I wish y'all didn't have to exist, but you do. There's a reality that this happens, that abuse happens. And I wanted to highlight something because I was thinking about this as you were talking, that a lot of times when we think of abuse, we think of physical marks. We see the scars. We see the bruising. I saw a photo yesterday, you know, there's a Trinity County group on Facebook, the page that always posts stuff, and there was this poor helpless child that had been abused. It was just tragic to see the photo. And as a parent, you're a parent, we're all, you know, we see these things and it's a whole different level because you start thinking of your children and like, man, if something like that ever happened to my child, I don't know what I'd do. And it's terrible to see that. But as you were talking, I was thinking that it's not just sometimes the physical. There's a lot of emotional abuse that happens.
That mental.
Maybe highlight some of that too.
The physical heals faster than the emotional.
And the mental strain. And you don't realize, I've had people come in and we give them a checklist and they, all of a sudden, it's just like a light bulb comes on and they're like, my God, I've been being abused and I didn't know it. Financial abuse, mental abuse, religious abuse, all those things. And they play on those emotions and they think they're worthless. because somebody's telling them that they are. And then all of a sudden we get them and they begin to realize I was being abused. Somebody doesn't have to hit you to abuse you. Mm-hmm. And that's a whole lot of getting over. People go through that for years and years and years. And I've actually heard that people who are abused, let's say at 13 years old, sometimes they never grow past 13. They're stumped right where that abuse occurred. And, you know, when we get these ladies in, most of the time it's ladies, and they bring children. Well, this child has watched this. So maybe the person didn't hit the kiddo, but they've been watching their other parent be knocked around or talk stupid to, and it's called secondary abuse. And sometimes all times we have to go through and try to heal those processes as well. You know, and it stumps when we get them into school and they want to act out, but they don't know how to release that anger. And so they'll just blow up at school. And, you know, and we talk about that at the school district all the time. They have to build relationships with those kiddos, because a kid that comes in and throws a chair for the first time, that's not a bad student. Something's happened somewhere. And you got to go back and say, did you even have breakfast today? You know, a lot of those kids don't have breakfast. So all those things messes with their minds, and it kind of stumps them a little bit. And so when we get kids even in the shelter, sometimes they're not the most disciplined. We work with, and sometimes they don't know how to parent. You know, we have babies having babies and nobody ever taught them how to feed their child or nurture their child or make sure when they're crying you pick them up. That's all the process of what we do.
Yeah. Well, I'm so glad that you brought up the emotional part, and Kaye chiming in on that too, because maybe there's somebody this morning that's sitting there saying, you know, I've heard about SAAFE House. I know about SAAFE House. I know it's a place that helps abused women, but they're maybe thinking, I'm not abused because I don't have any marks on me. And that's not the truth. I mean, if somebody's talking to you the wrong way, yelling at you, like you said, Kaye, that verbal abuse can go a long way.
It's tough.
And so the SAAFE House can help with that. I don't know if we've ever really touched base on that part, because I'm thinking abuse. I'm always thinking of physical. But there's so much
economic, more. You can be poor or rich and be abused.
I've had them all in there, you know.
Well, I've been a client. Yeah,
we had a lady in there several years ago. She came from another county. Her husband was very prominent. His picture was all over the county, you know. She was wealthy. He took her Bentley from her, kind of thing, you know. But she had to get away, get her kids, and sometimes they just have to land and be able to regroup and think about, where do I go from now? We did a health fair at New Waverly High School back before school was out. And we talked to class all day long. In my very last class, I was talking, and the teacher in the classroom at the end raised his hand, and he said, you know, Ms. Stoudt, I was a client in your shelter when I was a little boy. My mom ran and grabbed us kids, and he said we just had what we had on, and she needed to just sit down and be able to stop and breathe safely. Make sure we were fed and bathed and had a place to sleep. They weren't there but a couple of weeks, but they just had to regroup, and it's a safe space to do that. And we have ladies that will help you look at where you need to go, what's your resources. If you're running from somebody, do you grab your driver's license? Do you grab your birth certificate? Probably not. You grab just what's in your hand and you run. And so they have to completely start over, and we work with all the agencies to make that happen.
Well, SAAFE House is serving not just Walker County, but surrounding counties as well. You guys are doing such tremendous work. Maybe talk a little bit more just about the outreach and what y'all are doing out there.
So we serve 4 counties. That's Trinity County, Polk County, San Jacinto, and Walker County. We do have another shelter over in Livingston. We're working real hard over in San Jacinto County. Some counties, they're just now recognizing that abuse happens. And we're working real close with the DA's office and the sheriff's office. I even have an advocate that watches the ballots or the dockets for the court systems, and she goes to every court event to offer services. You know, and that's part of what we're doing this weekend. It's something we've never done. We're calling it an end of summer bash. Some people can't get to us safely to ask the questions, or they want to know what we do, but they're afraid to come ask. So we're kind of doing an open house on Saturday. It's from 10 to 3. We've got a fire truck coming and an ambulance coming, and Chris is doing a bounce house for us. We're going to have hot dogs and snow cones. But they can come through the office, see what our facilities look like. They can pick up information, but it's a family-oriented thing. So we're hoping that they can discover what we really are and what our services are. They may need to come back at some point, but it's a safe space. So we're hoping that people come out and join us. All of our staff will be there to visit with them. Boys and Girls Club are coming and setting up a table. So we've got a couple of agencies that we talked to, just offered them a free space. It's not a charge kind of thing. And it's where they can come in. Even if they pick up a pen with our phone number on it, who's going to think about that? Mm-hmm. So if they get off and they get in a wreck, they'll have the number to call us. And, a spouse or whatever is not going to go, well, why do you have this pen, Oh, I picked it up when I took the kids to the fire truck thing the other day. So it's just a safe space, a safe environment, and where they can just find out what we're really about. Some people go, what is SAAFE House, And I'm like, how can you not know what SAAFE House is? We've been here 40 years. But if you don't need it, it's not even on your radar. And people say, well, what can we do to help you? Well, there's all kinds of things that you can do. Donations are always great, but volunteers make the difference for us. I've got a young man over there right now cutting some grass. We have a service that does it for us for free, but there's some stuff behind the building that needs taken care of. And he needed a community service. Again, we're a safe space for them to come in and do their community service. We don't judge how they got it, what happened to them. We just safely let them do the stuff that they need to do.
Well, this is a great opportunity, again, to come out to learn more about SAAFE House. And maybe you're not in a situation to where, there is no abuse happening. Still come out. You need to come out, experience what SAAFE House is, because you may have a friend or somebody that's going through something.
Absolutely.
You can find out more information, and this is open to the community. The end of summer, but it's crazy to think end of summer already.
It's here.
we were just looking. I think Huntsville ISD starts classes the 13th.
I believe so.
So Kaye and I, though, we joke. We're like, there's no end of summer for us, and for our children are always going over Tomorrow's Promise. But end of summer bash, come out, be a part of this. It's open to the community from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Happening this Saturday, and you'll learn more about SAAFE House, the services they offer. And you never know, just because you're not going through something could come up down the road. I pray it doesn't, or someone that something could happen, and you'll know exactly where to tell them, here's where you need to get help.
Right. And we work with a lot of even the local churches. When y'all get people in, people are hurt, they tend to come to church to get services. And I tell all the pastors, we're here to help you. We have services that you don't know even how to do. So we're making connections and partnerships with all the churches so that we offer that service. You get somebody in that's like that, you call us, we'll come get them. We'll do whatever we have to do to get them safe.
You made such a good point, Tracy. Do you have a few more minutes?
Absolutely. I'm all yours.
You made such a great point just now when you talked about people coming into the church, because I think so many times, we all go to church. We've been involved. And sometimes when you see somebody come in, and it's not that we do it in a bad way, but sometimes instinctively or just something in us is like, well, here comes that person needing something again. If like somebody comes in and you don't know who they are and they start asking for things. And sometimes it's the first thing is, and it's happened to me, I'll be the first to admit it, to where I'm like, man, here comes somebody just wanting something.
Yeah.
But you can't be quick to judge. And I learned that and I've always tried to be very open, because you never know what people are going through. A lot of people are stepping in church because they are hurting. Yeah. It's not that everyone's just looking for a handout or wanting something. We had a gentleman that was just passing through the area that stopped by here on Sunday, and our staff and some other guys took time to actually get to know this person. He was saying, I need help. And so the first thing, you would think is, well, he's just wanting money or whatever. Ended up, we had a lunch after church, sat down with him. One of our guys here at church actually took him to a motel, got him a place. But he was genuinely hurting. He was going through a lot. He had been locked up. He had got some charges due to DWI and that kind of stuff, drug charges. This was an older gentleman, but he was genuinely looking for help. Mm-hmm. And he was being real about that. He wasn't just looking for somebody. So and the reason I bring all this up is you never know what somebody is going through, and don't be quick to judge. And especially if you're in a church and you see a lady walk in and she looks like, man, there's something going on, reach out. Don't be quick to judge that. Ask, hey, what can we do to help you? You never know how the Lord has sent that person into that church or wherever it may be to help them.
Right. And sometimes y'all don't have the resources, you don't have the staff, but we do.
Yeah, 100%.
You know, I don't have lots of resources, but what we have, we stretch and make work. And, you know, you get people don't realize that a lot of people are homeless. We don't help homeless. We're not allowed to help homeless. But why are they homeless? You know, if they're on the run, they've got their kids with them, they're living in their car. Somebody just beat the daylights out of them 3 or 4 days ago, and they just ran to get their kids safe. But then where do they go? Well, they're automatically, if they don't know that a SAAFE House exists, they're going to go to a church, you know. And so it's a teamwork thing. It takes us all. It takes a village to help people to start over. And we don't look at anybody as not helpable. We've you know, sometimes we get some that they're not helpable. They've got issues that are beyond. I don't have medical staff to help them. But we do have a whole list of resources. We can get them to where they need to go. We work with places called Families to Freedom. They will transport people for us. You know, sometimes we have to buy them a bus ticket to get them to a safe space in another state. So a lot of our grants cover and allow for us to do that.
Well, and I wanted to touch base too briefly, because I don't think a lot of people realize the resale shop that y'all have. Man, that place is awesome. I've walked in there, and it is just loaded with all sorts of finds. We had our Rays of Hope here a couple of months ago, and brought over another haul this year of some things to you guys.
Absolutely.
When we came in, I mean, we did it. You know, we've done it a couple of years now. But this year I was like, man, I don't know if y'all got room to store this, because it is just, people are in and out of there, but y'all did have room for it. But I'll tell you what, that little area is starting to really boom, and it helps you guys financially. So I wanted you to for sure mention that and let folks know when that's open and when they can come in.
Okay. We're open Tuesday through Friday, 9 to 4. We are going to be open this Saturday during our event. Awesome. So you can come through. We've kind of rearranged it a little bit. It gets close. Yucky sometimes, so we have to turn it upside down and backwards. But we use that resale shop. We take donations from the community, and we do sell those things. They're open for sale. But the basic piece to that is when our ladies get ready to start over in a home, if you brought a Walmart bag, you don't have dishes, you don't have pots and pans, you don't have sheets, you don't have a bed. And so when people donate those things, we set them aside specifically for them to be able to start over. So they get to come in and shop for what they need, and it makes it kind of nice. Or if they come in with no clothes, just what they're wearing, we go in and we get them a week's worth of outfits. And we take donations from everywhere. There's some things we can't take, but most things we just repurpose and fix it where that they can start over, and then people can come and shop. We have sales. If you check their website or their Facebook page, there's a 25-cent sale sometime this week. I think are we on Wednesday? Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's tomorrow. I can't keep up with where I am or what day it is. So that resale shop, and you know, we are able to help people again to capture. They need help, but they come in. They're going, oh, I'm going down there to get the kids some shoes. Mm-hmm. And you can catch a staff member and say, you know, I need help. And we do outreach services as well as shelter services. So you don't have to live with us to be able to get services. You can come in and meet us on a weekly basis, and we'll walk you through the process.
Well, that's great. Well, Tracy, I appreciate y'all's heart and all that you do. I know Bill Doggett joining us, too. He serves on the board with SAAFE House and has been a big supporter, and this community supports SAAFE House. So many resources that Huntsville offers to people in need. SAAFE House is one of the big ones, too. And we want you to connect. You can go to their website if you want more information, saafehouse.org. That's SAAFE, saafehouse.org for more information. Come out to the end of Summer Bash this Saturday, again, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. There's a lot going on Saturday. They got the big Bearcat football banquet. That's not till the night. So
okay, so they have plenty of time.
You got time to come out, be a part of this, and then if you're heading to the football banquet, you can go to that. One final thing, I don't want this event to get lost, but in October, I believe, is the Jail and Bell coming up again. So
I believe so.
So y'all are working on that already. So just stay tuned to the SAAFE House Facebook pages, and we'll post information, of course, here on Hello Huntsville as well. Kaye, did you have any final thoughts, any questions for Tracy?
That checklist sheet, be great if you could give that to every teenager.
You're right. You're right. And you know, you don't realize it, but teenagers go through the same type of abuse. They're in relationships, new dating experiences. And again, someone who's grown up in that abuse, they don't realize that that's what it is.
Yeah, that's tough. Well, Tracy, again, thank you. Anything else maybe you wanted to mention that
we also
we
have Denim and Diamonds bingo in Trinity in August. I can't remember the date, but that's a fun. We do it over there in one of the wedding venues.
Oh, cool.
We have a good time over there. So we do something in every community they help us sponsor SAAFE House. People have more investment in it. You know what I mean? They're more apt to support it. So we do something in every county once a year. And we just want to be part of the communities. Everywhere I go, I'm constantly trying to make those relationships because it's so much easier when you need to connect. You just pick up the phone and say, "Hey, this is Tracy. Can you help me?" And they're always good about. We work with the DA's office here in all of our communities and the sheriff's offices and police departments. We had an instance here, and it's just a matter of we picked up the phone and said, "Hey, I've got a person sitting on the curb at so-and-so and so, and I can't go get them." Sheriff's office went right away. I said, "She's got 2 babies with her." They brought car seats so that they could get them to us safely. So that just comes from years of building those connections. Before I didn't know who to call, and it makes all the difference in making that teamwork work.
Yeah. Well, Tracy, thank you so much. You're doing such an awesome job, and I'm so thankful that we have the SAAFE House here to help out folks that are in need. And
thank you.
Anything that y'all need, feel free to holler at us, and the community is backing you guys 110%. And we want folks to come out, be a part of this event on Saturday, learn more about the SAAFE House, and let's spread some awareness about some very serious things that happen, some unimaginable things that I can't think about, but I know others can. And so come out, be a part of this, and let's continue to support SAAFE House.
Thank you so much.
All right. Well, that'll wrap it up with our friend Tracy Stoudt. We'll put an article up on the website, too, from our interview. So we'll put out more information. And mark your calendar, Saturday. We're going to try to get out there because we got our little ones, and so we want to come out and learn more. Even though I talk to you all the time, every time I get around people, I learn a little bit more. And I said, well, there's something I didn't know, and you never know that knowledge where you're going to be able to use it. So, again, SAAFE House online at saafehouse.org. We'll step aside. We'll take a break. As always, couldn't have guests like Tracy on the show if it wasn't for our foundation support. And a big thank you on a Wednesday to Tomorrow's Promise Montessori Schools. They're online at tomorrowspromise.info. We'll take that break. We'll be back in a moment. Stay with us. It's Good Morning Huntsville.
At Tomorrow's Promise Montessori Schools, we're not just a place where children pass the time. We're not a daycare. We're a child care center focused on growth, learning, and discovery. Every day, children engage in meaningful activities that build confidence, independence, and a love for learning. From reading and math to social and practical life skills, our students are active participants in their development. Ready to give your child something more? Visit tomorrowspromise.info and discover what makes our school different. Tomorrow's Promise Montessori Schools. Education you can trust.
The Oak Ridge Disciple House is a faith-based 501c3 nonprofit Christian character building ministry helping men 18 and older who are suffering from drug and alcohol addictions. If you or someone you know needs help, there is light at the end of the tunnel, and that light can be found through the Oak Ridge Disciple House. For more information, visit oakridgedisciplehouse.com.
Hey, I'm Denise Olivas, Business Account Specialist at Walker County Federal Credit Union. One of the best things I hear from our members is how they love being treated like they're important, like their family. Sure, our members love things like low rates on loans too, but combine that with the friendliest and most helpful service in town, and you've got Walker County Federal, taking care of our members. It's what we do. We are Walker County Federal Credit Union, member NCUA.
Since 2010, the Oak Ridge Disciple House has helped men break free from addiction, not with quick fixes, but lasting change through Jesus Christ. They've celebrated 167 graduates at Oak Ridge and 138 more at Interfaith with an 80% success rate. That's compared to just 5% in most secular programs. The fact is, Jesus works. And now, celebrating 15 years, they're building their third house in Tennessee and just launched a women's program, Restoration Ranch in Texas. It's all for God's glory. And here's the heart of it. They never turn anyone away for lack of money. In fact, 95% of families receive scholarships. As one person put it, don't talk about it, be about it. Every penny counts. Donate today at oakridgedisciplehouse.com and help change a life forever. The Oak Ridge Disciple House. Online at oakridgedisciplehouse.com. Real recovery, real hope. This is Guardian Defense in Huntsville, Texas, a trusted, family-owned and operated gun store and range in the heart of East Texas. Guardian Defense is your one-stop destination for Texas LTC, NRA basic pistol and rifle courses, pistol refresher training, as well as a wide selection of quality firearms and ammunition. At Guardian Defense, empowerment is within reach through their Texas DPS-approved license to carry classes. Certified instructors will guide you through every facet of firearm safety, conflict resolution, and the pertinent legal aspects. Book now to become proficient and responsible in handling a firearm with complete confidence. For the eager learners, the fundamentals of pistol and rifle usage await discovery in their comprehensive 8-hour NRA basic courses. You're invited to connect with Guardian Defense on Facebook and Instagram, or give them a call at 936-293-0364. You can also visit them online at guardiandefensellc.com. Guardian Defense, your reliable partner in mastering firearm safety and acquiring quality firearms in the heart of Texas.
Spirit of Huntsville, Spirit of Huntsville, Spirit 94.3.
And now, even though he's not here from Studio 1229J, it's time for Rick's Top 10. But with a special guest, Kaye's reading the Rick's Top 10 today. You're also a gorgeous grandma.
Should I make my voice real low?
You should, yeah. Happy Gorgeous Grandmother Day today.
Thank you.
Okay, you and Tracy lie. Y'all aren't grandmas. Y'all aren't old enough to be grandmothers.
So top 10 signs you're a gorgeous grandma. As read by someone with bifocals and sass. I have trifocals. I don't know. I do have sass.
Yeah, I was going to say, you got the sass down.
You got more Facebook followers than your grandkids, and most of them are from your bridge club. Don't play bridge. Your apple pie has its own Yelp reviews and a cult following in 3 counties. If I made apple pie, I would have cult following in like half the world, because I'd poison people. Once grounded your daughter, and now she sends you Mother's Day cards just in case. Okay, I don't have a daughter, so
Some daughters maybe, yeah.
You own more bling than a rap video, and you still remember where it all came from. Yeah, I wear it on my hands.
Yeah, I was going to say, you do, yeah.
You can crochet a scarf, knit a sweater, and throw shade all in the same afternoon.
Are you a knitter or crocheter?
Actually, when I was a child, there were widows in the neighborhood, and I would spend an afternoon with each widow in the neighborhood. So I have learned how to knit, crochet, needlepoint, I'm leaving out something. Cross stitch.
Wow.
So I know how to do all of those things, and I know an awful lot about parakeets.
Okay.
Because one of the little old ladies had a parakeet. You referred to TikTok as that clock app, but somehow went viral anyway.
That's pretty good. Do you have a TikTok, Kaye?
No, I really don't. That China thing.
Yeah, so it's a clock app. If you thought of it as a clock app, then
I know what it is. I just don't use it.
Yeah.
Your hugs cure colds, break curses, and occasionally fix Wi-Fi.
See, this is you, though, because you're the hug of Huntsville. This is perfect, Kaye. All right.
You call your wrinkles laugh lines because you earned every single one of them at Thanksgiving dinner. If I had tried to cook dinner, they'd be cry lines. You're not just a snack, you're the whole casserole.
Oh,
I'm a whole lot of something.
And now the number one, right?
Number one sign, you're a gorgeous grandma. You don't chase men, you bake cookies, and they come running.
Oh.
I'm glad I have Rick because, I have never baked him cookies, and he's still with me. So.
And he still comes running regardless. So there you go. Rick's Top 10 from Rick's spouse this morning from Kaye Boehning. Always a lot of fun. And a happy, gorgeous Grandma Day out there to all of you gorgeous grandma. My mama's a gorgeous grandma, too. So we've had 3 gorgeous grandmas I've got to say hello to this morning. Also, I wanted to send a special birthday. I send a special birthday shout-out today to, I believe it's y'all's granddaughter, Emma, today, turning 17 from what I've heard. So birthday, Emma, your gorgeous grandma. All right, well, we're going to keep just things rolling as we normally do, and we'll transition right into Kaye's Wednesday Wisdom. What do you have for us today this morning, Kaye?
Okay, small moments, big impact. You don't need to change the whole world. Just make one person's day better. That's how real change begins. So, share a kind word, a smile, a hug. Just showing up for someone can ripple through the community. So pay for someone's coffee, compliment a coworker, read a book with a child, just smile at people, say hello.
You never know. It's cool that you mentioned this because how many times in life do we cross people? Do we cross paths with people? I would say for you and I mean, at least once a day, easily, right? Now, if you're homebound, obviously, you're not getting out. Maybe you have a medical condition, you can't get out.
But you can call someone.
You can call people, yeah.
Or send them a text.
But I was thinking of this the other day that I was at HEB and I was walking into the store, and there was a lady, and I could just tell she didn't look happy. And how many times do we walk past people like that every day? I do it all the time. And there was something tugging at me the other day, and I said, I'm going to say hi to this person. And I'm going to be honest, it is super, even though I like talking, you know me, I'm a yacker, but it's still super uncomfortable for me to randomly say hello to somebody. But I do it anyways. And I'll tell you what, you can see joy in people's faces sometimes that they were just acknowledged, that somebody took time just to say a simple hello to them. Because maybe nobody ever talks to that person. And when we get to the grocery store, I get it. People just want to, they're there. Obviously, they just want to buy groceries, get in, get out. But it's still okay to say hello. And if you cross paths with somebody today, maybe make that. I challenge you. Somewhere today, just one person. Don't even do it. Don't have to do it to everybody. Do it to one person that you normally wouldn't say hello to. Maybe you're going to Home Depot, right? You're walking into the store. That's always a great place to say hi to somebody is they're walking out and you're walking in. If there's a person loading groceries into their car. Now this one you got to be careful because they'll think maybe you're like creeping on them. But I have asked people before, hey, do you need any help loading your vehicle? Unfortunately, we live in a society now that sometimes people see that as like it's like, man, what's this person going to do to me? But it still doesn't hurt to ask. And I've asked people, and I did one day. There was a lady that was in one of those carts, like the wheelchair cart, and I could tell she was having a hard time getting around. And I said, hey, ma'am, is there anything I can do to help you? She goes, actually, young man, yes. I felt great. She called me young man. It felt good. She goes, yes, young man. Actually, do you mind? And I did. And it was And if I would have never stopped and paused, would have never had that moment of interaction. Such a really good Wednesday wisdom this morning to just smile. You never know how your smile is going to turn somebody else's day around.
Yeah, and when I was a child, I mean, I am very shy. I am very introverted. And people used to scare me, and so when I'd walk around, I'd just kind of, not necessarily cringe, but, keep my head down and not look at anybody, not make eye contact, things like that, because I'm afraid they'd hurt me, and, just having the SAAFE House here, I grew up, and have had abusive husbands before I met Rick. And I took that list that she had, and I read through that list, and like, oh, check, 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 when I got divorced from the boy's dad. And then when I would date somebody, I, check, check, once I got that list. And so, that list has also come in play with people that I've employed. I've been abused by my employees before. I've been abused by parents that come to the school. And so, I have had to overcome all of that. That's why I said mental is worse than physical, because mental's with you 24/7.
It eats at you.
Yeah. And so you have to learn how to get over that. And as I've learned to get over some of the things that happened to me as trauma as a child that went into adulthood, then, I have become, I'm still very introverted, and sometimes I get peopled out, and I just want to go be quiet somewhere. But I am in a people profession, and, and most people would kind of look at me now if I said, I'm very shy and introverted, and go, huh? Because I don't portray that probably anymore.
Yeah, no, not at all. It's incredible how our experiences shape us. And you've chose, Kaye, you've went through some hard experiences, obviously. But you've chose to say, you know what, I'm gonna turn that for good in some way, and you're doing that, Kaye. And so thank you for your friendship, and thank you for what you do. You don't get enough credit for what you do, by the way. And I know you don't want it, but too bad, you're going to get it. And I know you got a great staff behind you, but you're going to get it. So
the teachers make the school.
Well, do you have? I know typically we try to get out of here in a few. Do you got maybe 5 more minutes?
I've got a few more minutes.
All right. Well, I want to go over a few things. So this day in history, this 1829, the typographer was patented. Now I get a radio list every evening, every afternoon, late in the afternoon, and I've learned, and it's 30 pages of stuff. I pay for the service, but it's too much. So now I take it, I condense it in our friend ChatGPT, and it shrinks it down for me to keep it manageable. So I won't go over all this, but 1829, the typographer was patented. I don't know what that is. Do you? A typographer? Am I saying that right? Typographer? I don't know what it is, but anyways, William Alston Blurt received a patent for the typographer, which was the front runner to the modern typewriter.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking it was.
It changed how we communicate forever, even though back then a typo literally meant messing up on paper. That was back when we used to text on paper. You remember that? Back in the day, we would text on paper. 1904, the ice cream cone debuted. Today's also, I think, National Ice Cream Day, by the way. It was during the St. Louis World Fair. Charles E. Minchis reportedly made the first ice cream cone. Newspapers said that they were there to get the scoop. Seems like a good reason to treat yourself.
A lot of things came out at the World's Fair. A lot of inventions and things were.
Do they still have a World's Fair?
I don't know.
Boy, it'd be neat to go to one, but I've never heard of one anymore. It is National Vanilla Ice Cream Day. It happens on this day, and it's pretty cool. 1885, it was the death on this day of President Ulysses S. Grant. President Grant, the Union General, the 18th president, passed away at the age of 63. His leadership helped to guide the country through some of its most difficult days. And
I remember a joke as a kid. Who's buried in Grant's tomb?
That was well, there you go. He passed away 1885 on this day. It was 1985. The Jeffersons. You ever watch The Jeffersons? I remember that show. Of course, I was only 1 year old, but I watched the reruns. They aired their final episode. It was after 11 seasons. The Jeffersons aired its final episode on CBS. The show broke ground with its portrayal of African-American success and family dynamics. Very popular show years ago. A couple of birthdays today. One of them I wanted to talk about. Woody Harrelson turned 64 today. He used to bartend on Cheers and then was in Zombieland, True Detective. My favorite movie was White Men Can't Jump that he was in, but he turned 64. I wanted to mention him because our friend Michelle Cardenas, who just wrapped up her internship with the governor, I said, what was some of the neatest things? Well, she told me that she got, and I'll have her on the show. I'd love for her to come in and talk about her experience with that. Maybe I'll have her come in on a Wednesday and do that sometime.
Love that.
But she got to, get to know the governor really well. She told me, she goes, well, I got to sit in almost all their meetings. She thought that was neat because, he has like 12 or 13 staff members. She got to be in there with all of those.
Cool.
Developed a friendship with the governor. And she says, but the coolest thing was we had Matthew McConaughey and Woody Harrelson come into the office. And she said everybody was going head over heels over Matthew McConaughey. But she goes, I was happy to see Woody Harrelson. She got to meet Woody Harrelson. So I thought that was pretty neat. Today, as I mentioned, National Gorgeous Grandma Day. Happy Gorgeous Grandma Day today, Kaye. National Vanilla Ice Cream Day. It's also National Lemon Day today. So, when life gives you lemons, maybe it's just God giving you a reason to pause and pray before you react.
You're either overcoming a crisis, learning from the crisis, getting ready for the next crisis, and then going into a crisis. Mm-hmm. And it's all how your attitude is as to whether it's a crisis or a learning opportunity.
I love that, Kaye. Well, I got a couple of little fun little fun things here. This was a smartwatch that helped find a missing plane. Check this out. It was a tragic story with a twist at the end. After a small plane went missing, this was in West Yellowstone, Montana. Data from a smartwatch worn by one of the passengers helped rescuers locate the crash site in a dense forest. Through all of these, though all 3 lives were lost, the technology helped to bring closure to the families. These smartwatches are unbelievable. I never thought I'd really wear a Google Pixel watch. And this thing tells me and it's funny because I'll feel like I'm getting stressed out. This thing will tell me we've detected stress. So I don't know how it knows, but it does. A couple of other just cool little news stories. Here's a cashier gave away $160 by mistake. Now, this seems like it could be fun, but usually when that happens, they end up having to pay for it. A family gave a $100 bill to pay for a $40 meal. The cashier was a young worker, got confused, gave $160 in change back instead of $60. When asked about it, she admitted, and you can chime in on this, Kaye, because this is a common problem. She admitted this. The young person admitted she did not know how to count money. Mm-hmm. Didn't know how to count it. The owner now making basic change counting a part of training. Can you believe? I mean, we've heard about this before. Have you ever went in and paid cash and then I've seen people.
You have a bill that's $5.13 and you give them $20.13, so you get $15 back, and they just look at you like you're crazy and try to give you 13 cents back, and you're like, or it's $6.15 and you give them 21.15, and they just kind of look at you, and I'm like, I don't want a wad full of ones back. I would like 3 5s back. I just put it in the machine. They act like it's magic. How'd you do that?
Well, if they would have grown up in a Montessori school like my children, they'd probably learn how to do all that. I paid cash the other day with something, and the person took forever. It was so simple. It was like $30. I gave him a $50K. It was $30. Hand me back a $20. And they said, "Oh, well, we don't have enough ones." And I said, "Do you have a $20 bill?" "Oh, no, we don't have a 20. I said, "Do you have a 10 and 2 5s? "Oh, yeah, I have that." "Okay, that's $20. That's literally what happened to me.
And there's actually a bipartisan bill being presented in Congress right now to make it where businesses have to accept money. They don't have to accept 50s and 100s, but they do have to accept cash. So like if you want to go into the grocery store, or like into the gas station and buy $25 worth of gas and pay cash, they have to take the cash because it is legal tender, instead of making you use the credit card and, jacks up fees and this, that, and the other. But they're trying to propose something right now.
Good, they should, because I get annoyed when I go. I've been into places before that say we don't take cash. Mm-hmm. Well, then that means my money's useless now. Yeah, it's ridiculous. So here's a word for you. Here's a moral to this, by the way. Wisdom is worth more than math. Proverbs 4:7 reminds us, get wisdom, though it cost all you have, get understanding. So Proverbs is giving us some things about how to count money. One final thing here real quick. Microplastics have been found in glass bottles. This is kind of weird. Surprisingly, a study found that glass bottles, especially those with the painted metal caps, you don't see a whole lot of those anymore, but there are some with painted metal caps, like the Starbucks coffee jars. Those have those painted metal caps. They contain more microplastics than plastic ones. If this is kind of neat to figure out. The culprit, tiny flakes from the cap paint get into drinks like those coffees and sodas and teas. So, you know, it's kind of one of those things that the things that we don't see sometimes make the most effect. And there you go with these plastics getting into these glass bottles. So think about that. Next time you get a glass bottle with a painted cap, you may be getting more plastic than you think. And it's probably not good for you.
I don't usually
buy a glass bottle.
I don't usually buy those things.
Yeah, same here. A couple of final things real quick. I briefed over some of this, but I wanted to mention this because, you know, we were talking about relationships and these kind of things this week. I was talking earlier, you know, this whole thing came out, Kaye, and I mentioned it on the show yesterday. I'm not a fan of this, how everybody's made light of this CEO and his HR lady or whoever she was, you know, that it happened. And people are making fun of it. They're normalizing it. There was even a baseball team that the mascots were doing it. I was like, we should quit promoting this. And it's nothing to be happy over. Lives are being destroyed. And I'm not even talking about the two people that were cheating on each other, their families, their children. And so I wanted to circle back to that about faith and marriage, because I think these are some really important things. And this is straight from some psychology, but habits of strong, godly marriages. And so here is 5 things I wanted to give you for those of you that are married this morning. Take timeouts before you say something in frustration. I'm very bad about this. I get frustrated, and I'll immediately speak what's on my mind. And I have now created.
I've never noticed that.
And I've created World War VII at my house. And it's not fair to Bridget, and it's not fair to my family, and it's something that I've really, especially over these last probably 6 months, Bridget even told me, she goes, you're doing better with this. But take a time out before you say something. Touch often. A hug can say more than words. Mm-hmm. Touch often. Kaye hugs everybody. It means a lot to people.
A 5-second hug. Not just a quick, you know, but at least a 5-second hug.
You know, Bridget and I will be arguing or something, and then I'll go give her a hug, and it doesn't happen. I mean, the arguments don't happen. You know, they happen, but not like terrible. Like there was times where we were arguing all the time. You know, but we've put faith in our marriage, and it's helped tremendously. But there's times I'll be hugging Bridget, and then like you feel it after like 3 seconds. You're like, all right, now I'm feeling the love. You know what I'm saying? So you're right. Just more than that, talk it out. After you've cooled down, make sure you've cooled down when you get frustrated, and then talk it out. The 4th of 5 things is let things go. Not every battle is worth fighting over.
Always ask, will it matter in 5 years?
Yeah, I've learned to let go that my wife leaves open cabinet doors and drawers. Everywhere she goes, she leaves open a drawer and a cabinet door. It runs in her family. All the Brennan women do it. I don't know what it is. But I've learned to just let it go, because it won't matter in 5 years. And then finally, and there's things I do too that you know, I need to do a better job. Bridget goes, she's like, why didn't you put your shoes up? Why didn't you do that? I'm not going to tell her to let it go. I'm going to put my stuff up. And then finally, be kind. You were talking about this earlier. Be kind. Remember that marriages aren't perfect, and our spouses aren't perfect, but guess what? Neither are you. And so those are 5 things.
Well, a lot of times we're nicer to the people we work with than we are to our spouse. And if you'd treat your spouse as nice as you treated the people you worked with, you would have a better marriage.
Well, there's your 5 tips on faith and marriage. Ephesians 4:2 reads this: be completely humble and gentle, be patient, bearing with one another in what? In love. I think if we could all get back to that, things would smooth out a little bit quicker, and things would flow a little bit better in our lives and in our marriages. And fight for your marriage too. I want to encourage people, fight for your marriage. You know, you're going to argue. I think a lot of young people nowadays, it's so easy just to say I'm done. And there's certain situations, obviously. I mean, we had Tracy here. You know, it's safe. There's certain situations like it's time to get out. You'll know that's serious. But I'm talking about if you've got little minor differences, figure out a way to work it out. And cherish your marriage, because it really is a privilege to be married. It's appointed by God. I believe that, and I take marriage very seriously. It's nothing to gloss over. And I always joke with you and Rick, but I'm serious about it too. Though you guys need to host a marriage conference, because I mean that. I look up to you and Rick and y'all. I really do, Kay. So I want you to know that you and Rick have made an impact on my life and my marriage with my wife, because I see how y'all interact. And it truly does help me want to become a better husband and be a better spouse. So thank y'all for what you do. And
thank you.
Tomorrow's Promise marriage counseling coming soon. You'll get back together tomorrow. We promise. Tomorrow's Promise marriage counseling. See, there you go, right? Okay, no, I'm just kidding. Well, any final comments? It's been a fun day. I know some events on the horizon. Lasso Your Imagination is going to be coming up before we know it. Maybe highlight just a couple things you've been working on and what we're looking forward to.
Well, we are unrolling Boots Barbecue and Bingo with a twist.
Oh.
So this year's entertainment feature, we've tried line dancing, and we tried square dancing, and we tried a comedian, and this year we're going to go with bingo.
Nice. Okay.
But we're going to have a twist, because Kay never does things just like everybody else.
Nice. Well, get ready. And that's coming up when? In September? Is that going to be
September 13th.
Wow. Yeah, that's going to be right there. I'll be there. It'll be a lot of fun. So come out and be a part of Lasso Your Imagination. All the proceeds are going to go to benefit the Dolly Parton's Imagination Library, supplies books to well over 1,000 children here in Walker County. And come be a part of this, because it's so important. All that goes to benefit childhood literacy. And still some tables, a few remaining, so people can buy those tables, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, and we're also rolling out, we are going to offer child tickets this year.
Oh, sweet.
So the individual tickets will be $50. You'll get one bingo card, and a child's ticket will be $25 and one bingo card.
Oh, that's so cool.
So
no excuse now. If you have children and you said you can't find a sitter, you're going to find a way to be there now.
Well, we also will have, for those people that don't want to bring their children, then Academy should still be open and providing childcare that night.
Awesome. All right. So no excuse.
But we have to have people tell us about it.
Yeah.
That they want to use that option.
Sure. Well, great. Well, more information. We'll post more about the events here on Hello Huntsville. Reach out to us, and of course, you can find all the information online at tomorrowspromise.info. Okay. Thanks for hanging out. Been a fun morning.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's been a more calm morning without Rick. Rick and I cut up way too much, and Kay has brought me back down to earth. Said, Rob, let's get it back. No, I'm just kidding. We miss you, Rick. Hey, love you, buddy, and we're praying that he gets well very soon. I know he's not feeling well under the weather.
He's doing better today, I think.
He told me yesterday. He says, I won't be at Ambassadors because I'm going to the doctor. And I said, well, it's better than going to the proctor. Hey, one last thing. I know I always do this, but yesterday I wasn't able to make it to our WCRC meeting because of the camps going on here at church. But I was so excited. 4 teachers were drawn. Maybe tell a little bit about that, about how WCRC, you're a member of the organization, helping out teachers.
So several of the businesses that are associated with WCRC,
including Tomorrow's Promise,
donated money, and we collected $1,000.
Wow.
And so we decided to draw 4 names and give 4 teachers $250 to help them out for the school year.
That's awesome. Yeah, 4 teachers are going to be blessed this year. That is incredible. We did I think it was Tuesday. Jason, that was yesterday. Jason was on the show in the morning, and I said that we would donate $100 if anyone would match that. And my sister said she was going to match it too. So that is incredible. These teachers, because of your generosity, 4 teachers getting blessed with back-to-school supplies that they can go get whatever they want. So
yes.
It's going to be great.
And, the teachers were recommended on Facebook.
And there was a ton of entries. I saw that little spinny wheel thing that Sky did, and I was like, man, there was a bunch of people that were entered into that. So that's great. Well, that'll wrap it up. We'll be back tomorrow here with Jason Bay, First Baptist, and I think we have, let me just double-check real quick, Kay. I believe that we have, we do. Richard Pace is going to be joining us. He's from the new artisan shop that opened up in our old spot, by the way, where Hello Huntsville used to be.
Oh, cool.
So Richard Pace is going to be with us tomorrow, giving us some updates on what he's doing over there. And then we'll wrap up the week on Friday with Billy Cawthon, Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home, and our real estate expert, Terry Coleman, who has a beautiful listing out in Elkins right now, a 2.5 for sale, which is really nice. So we'll talk to her about what she's got going on. Well, that'll do it. We'll wrap up every show this way, but please listen this morning that I'm reminding you that we're not strong enough alone to make it on our own. Kaye talked about this earlier. We really do need each other. So please provide a word of encouragement, lend a hand of support. I promise somebody out there needs you today. Just say hello, like you said, Kaye. Say hello and be a friend to somebody. And let's make this world just a little bit better today. We can all do our part, and it'll add up. We love you. We'll see you back 7:30 tomorrow here on Good Morning Huntsville. Until then, good morning, Huntsville, and God bless. Thank you to Tomorrow's Promise and Kaye Boehning. See you, Kaye.
Bye, everyone.